What's up, otakus? Yeah, it's been we're midweek, and I usually don't put out videos midweek, but I've been, as you know, over the past 2 weeks, I've amassed quite a bit of books. What ended up happening was I sold some books, and with that money, we're being very strategic about going to half price books, going to local comic book shops, also shopping, looking online for deals. And yeah, with a few big pickups, even most recently, just I think 2 days ago, we picked up just really the gem of this haul, and we'll get to that at the very end. But in the last 2 weeks, we were able to pick up 30 books in this haul, which I'm going to show you. And we ended up spending $65. And hey, what's up, Tylox? Thanks for joining, man. Glad you're here. So as I was saying, I picked up 30 books, paid $65.25 for this book. So it comes out to about $22.17 per book. Hey, Danny, thanks for joining, guys. Great to have you. And Danny, thanks for the recommendations on the pressing. I really want to get a pressing machine, and now I just have to convince my wife. So I'm set on doing it. I just need to have her approval to be able to buy everything. So I'm working on that. I have to be strategic about the timing and bringing it up. I think closer to Christmas, it'll be safe. Anyway, getting back to the haul. So 30 books, we spent $65.25. It's about $2.17 per book. But really, the majority of that budget, that $65, came out of these 3 books. I spent about $40 with shipping and tax and everything, $40 on these 3 books alone. So the other, 27 books, we spent about $25 on the other 27 sold books. So really, pretty much $1 per book on this haul, minus the 3 books on books on this $40 haul. I hope that makes sense. But anyway, about $2 per book on this haul. 30 books, and we're just going to get to it. So I'm going to start with the free comics. And the free comic books we picked up, some of these I went over on the Batman Day haul the free Batman Day books that we got. And I guess we'll start with this Batman Mystery Case book. This is a free book. Just a cool cover. And we also picked up this at Half Price Books. And like I mentioned, this was a free comic book day, I think 2018, that previewed the Infinity. Amazing Spider-Man. This is a Mike Deodato Jr. cover. No, it's a Rotley. Some dude named Rotley who did the cover. Thanks, Danny. So depending on who's working at Half Price Books, if you're buying stuff and you bring up a book without a price or free comic book day book, they'll usually give it to you for free. There are exceptions, but we'll get to an example of that. I also picked up this great preview book, DC Connect. It just has this amazing Mark Silvestri artwork there for his upcoming Black Label Batman series. It's called Batman and the Joker, The Deadly Duo. Beautiful cover by Mark Silvestri. Really looking forward to picking up some issues of that, as well as picked up, again, Batman Hush Special Edition. This was the Batman Day free giveaway as well. Happy to pick those up. And next we have, this was free. This is Deadly Class #1. It's the San Diego, I think it's a San Diego Comic Con. Now, two of my resources say different things. One, I think one of the resources say this is the San Diego Comic Con variant. Another says it's the New York Comic Con variant. I'm not sure which one it is, but it didn't have a price on it. And so when I initially tried to buy this at Half Price Books, one of the clerks there got the manager, and the manager said, yeah, we can sell it to you for $1. And when he said that, I was like, no, I won't get it. So they just, they put it back. I came back, I think the very next day or the day after, and picked this up again on my next purchase. And there was a different person working there at the time. And I mentioned, hey, this doesn't have a price. It's a free comic book at a Comic Con. How much would you charge for it? And I was hoping they'd say maybe 25 cents, but they gave it to me for free. So again, persistence pays off with these books. Depending on who works at the counter, you're oftentimes able to get this stuff for free. So I got this book for free. Again, it's the San Diego Comic Con variant. And I know this show was canceled. I never got to really watch it, but the reason I like this cover, it's just got all these, it's a great, photo cover of all these great actors. So happy to pick that up. Hey, Naman Hyung, how you doing? Yeah, I never saw Deadly Class, but I was just curious as to why it was canceled, because it seemed like it was pretty good. The next book I got, it's a little bit of speculation on my part, but this is a 1996 book, not a Neil Gaiman book, but it's written by Terry Laban. It's the Sandman the Dreaming, and this is a series where they really expand and open up the universe of the Sandman with new characters and new stories. And this is the first issue of the Dreaming, of that expansion. And so not that I'm, anticipating them to do this book anytime soon, but I think at some point, if it looks like the Sandman series is very popular, and who knows where that will lead to with content further down the line, but I'm sure they're already, envisioning expanding the world and possibly introducing the characters in that expanded world. So this is a little bit of speculation on my part. I don't do much speculating, but I thought for $1.25, which is half a cover, it was worth it. So bought that book. And the next book we got this is also, so this one we paid $1.25, but this one we got for free. A community member kind of reached out on social media that he was giving this book away. It was the property of his uncle, who was an avid comic book collector, but he just found it kind of lying around, and he wanted to go to a collector. So I offered to take it, and I got it for free. It's not a great copy. It's about a 5.0, I would say, in terms of grade. Maybe even worse. There's it's not a heavy crease. It's a light crease, but it goes all the way down the book. So, Danny, maybe you can tell me what that would do to a grade, just sort of like a crease. It's faded. It's got its issues. So maybe it's like, I want to say it's like a 4 or 5, maybe a 4. But West Coast Avengers #1, the debut of Iron Man's Centurion suit. Got this for free. So every book I've shown up to now, we've only paid up $1.25 for all those books, which is quite remarkable. Now we're going to get into books that I paid for. So next book we have up is, thanks, Danny. I trust your grading. We have Superman 53. This is a great Jerry Ordway cover. I know a lot of collectors in my sphere, in my network, love these kinds of covers. Superman with the American flag, This is just a great Jerry Ordway. And Jerry Ordway is just, he was the inker for George Perez on the Crisis on Infinite Earth series. He's just a legend in the comic book community. He worked on All-Star Squadron, Superman, just a bunch of books. So DC legend, Jerry Ordway, great. Just a cover buy on this one. Got it for half a cover, which is 50 cents on this. This book we picked up at Mill Geek. This is volume 3, issue number 2 of Justice League. And Jorge Jimenez cover, beautiful cover there. Scott Snyder's story. This is the first cameo appearance of the Sinestro Corps. And so, the Sinestro Ultraviolet Corps. So it's a key book. Love the art, love the cover art there. Superman and all the, look at Batman there as well, looking really menacing. I've always kind of wanted to pick up this book, but at half price books, it's there, but it's, again, half a cover, which is $2, and didn't want to pay $2 for it. When I found it at Mill Geek for 50 cents, I said, yeah, we'll pull the trigger on that one. This was also from Mill Geek for 50 cents. It's a hot girl, yeah. This is Avengers the Initiative, World War Hulk. I think this is the first appearance of Mutant Zero, formerly known as Typhoid Mary from the Daredevil series. So I guess it's a key book. Just, I like that. I like the Jim Cheung. I'm more liking Jim Cheung's art more and more as I pick up his books. This next cover is just a cover we love here. Look at that beauty. All new, all different Avengers. And this features a great Alex Ross cover of The Vision, Miles Morales, Ms. Marvel, Riri Williams, Nova, Falcon Winter Soldier as Captain America, and Jane Foster as Thor. Will we see this team? Who knows? Probably not, maybe not. But Alex Ross brought them together on this first issue. 50 cents. Can't go wrong with that for 50 cents. It's Alex Ross, come on. All right, now we're getting into some, so some of these are transitioned into the cover buys. This is definitely a cover buy for me. I think I'm like proactively now looking for Art Germ covers now. If there's an Art Germ cover, I'm going to pick it up. This is Jean Grey, Marvel Girl, variant edition for Hickman's X-Men 1. Again, pick this one up for, not for 50 cents. We picked this one up for $2 at Half Price Books. Happy to pick that up for $2. Yeah, isn't it? Beautiful cover. A lot of these are just amazing covers. Danny, you're going to like these next set of books. Picked up Michael Turner. This is Superman Batman number 10. Hey, Dream Walker, welcome. Glad you could join. Pick this one up for half a cover, which is like $1.50. And anytime we get Michael Turner in our field of scope, we're gonna try to pick it up. In most instances. We also picked up number 8. I love this cover. This is key because it's the return of Supergirl, Kara Zor-El. And yeah, just a beautiful, another great Michael Turner cover. We also picked up Superman Batman number 1. This is the Batman variant. There's also a Superman variant. We picked this one up for also $1.50. So all of these were $1.50 here. We also picked this one up for $2, half a cover. Now this is Superman Batman Annual number 1, and If you know the significance of this book, go ahead and mention it in the comments, but I'll reveal what's special about this book. First of all, Joe Kelly and Ed McGuinness reunite to do this annual. Now, as you know, they are the famous duo that introduced the first ongoing Deadpool series that gained a lot of popularity, and it launched Deadpool into really the character that we know and love today, who broke down that fourth wall. So Joe Kelly and McGuinness are responsible for developing that character into the lovable Wade Wilson that we know today. And again, they reunite on this book, and this is sort of an unofficial crossover in the sense that they introduce a character here who never gets to say his name. He's interrupted and killed multiple times throughout this book. But a character who has a costume very similar to Deadpool's. He is the long, I guess, lost half brother of Slade Wilson, Deathstroke. And Deathstroke kills him multiple times. He's able to regenerate. So they're obviously implying, they're not explicitly saying he's Deadpool, but they're implicitly saying that he is. And so this is an unofficial crossover, Deathstroke, Deadpool crossover. And as you know, Rob Liefeld wanted to do Deathstroke. He wanted to work on Deathstroke while he was at DC. Never got that opportunity. So when he had a chance to create a character, he created Deadpool based off of Deathstroke. So that's interesting. All right, so we're getting to the books. This one I was surprised to find. At Half Price Books, it's rare to come across a Peach Momoko book, but that's what happened. Peach Momoko, this is Usagi Yojimbo, what is it? The Wanderer's Road. And anytime you get Peach doing, like, you know, samurai swords and Japanese cherry blossom sakura, it's a good day. And of course, San Sakai did such a wonderful job with this character and this content, and Peach just, what better homage than the cover like that to the great San Sakai. So yeah, I was ecstatic to pick this up for half a cover, which was $2. Awesome, Naman Young. I'm sure you're going to pick up a lot of good stuff. Hopefully you find some real good bargains. I'm telling you that they're there. You just have to be. I always hit the. What I'm finding now is my half price books. They kind of circulate books every now and then, so it's, I'm constantly checking for whatever new stuff comes in. You sent 5. Oh, what did you send in, Danny? I'm interested. What's the big book that you sent in? Because I sent in one book, and I'll reveal that when I get it next month. But very curious to know what you sent in for Peach. That's a big. I know so many collectors. Russ from Mill Geek. He was when I went to the shop there last weekend. He was actually in the middle of preparing the Peach books. He's friends with her. He's not only meeting up with her at New York City Comic Con. The whole Comic Tom crew is going to New York City Comic Con to cover it. But he's going up there to meet up with her and get books signed, probably get some original artwork as well. But he also submitted a bunch of books to CGC so he could get them signed down there as well. So he's going to come back with quite a Peach haul. We all love Peach. I don't think she's going to be at the Baltimore Con. She's only going to New York City Comic Con, doing the signing event at CGC, and then heading back to Japan. She is a hard artist to get a hold of. with the signing events, the con appearances. Picked up another copy of Batman Year 3. This is our second copy, not as nice as our first. It's got issues, a lot of spine ticks, no major creases though. I would put this grade at around 7.5. But picked it up for 37 cents. Can't beat that. George Perez cover, key classic book, Batman Year 3, Part 1. Can't beat it. This is the first appearance of Tim Drake. All right, now we're getting into our Jim Lee stuff. Now you know me. It's not an otaku tour guide comic book haul unless we have some Jim Lee books, and we have some here. So we have another big one in this one as well. So we're going to get to this. This is going to be coming up very soon. So stay tuned. We picked up Uncanny X-Men. This is my second copy of this one. My first copy is also a newsstand edition. This isn't as nice as my first copy, but again, for 50 cents, half a cover, I just couldn't leave it at the store, so we picked it up. Also picked this one up for half a cover, 75 cents. This is just a great Jim Lee Spider-Man cover. I mentioned how rare Jim Lee Spider-Mans are. There's only, that I know of, like 3 actual comic books, or I guess related covers and comic books where he's done Spider-Man. So this is one of them. So this is and it's really clean copy. This is like a 9, definitely in the 9 range. So happy to have picked up again, 50 cents, 75 cents, Jim Lee pickups. Those are nice. So I mentioned I was at Mill Geek. We picked up 2 copies of Fantastic Four number 4. This is the volume 2 number 4, the run that he did with Brandon Choi. So I picked up 2 copies for 50 cents each. And I'm not going to pull out to show you both copies, but just know there's 2 copies of this in there. And I just love this Fantastic Four cover with Black Panther there, Jim Lee's Black Panther. That, man, that just, so when I got the 2 copies, I was like, I just had to get both. I'm getting them both because they're both pretty high grade copies. All right, the next book we have is a Jim Lee book, not the cover. This is a Jim Chiang cover. It's a 75th anniversary variant of Superman Unchained number 3. So it's not a Jim Lee cover, but it is Jim Lee interiors for Superman Unchained. And, I always say that my issue with the Jim Lee Superman Unchained is they altered the suit to where it was just all blue. They got rid of the red underpants. And I just hated that. And especially on the covers and stuff. So this is Superman Unchained, but we have a classic looking Superman there in his red undies, changing out of a phone booth, which is not really a thing now. But 75 years ago it was. So awesome. Pick that up. Okay. So I went to Half Price Books just 2 days ago. And just to kind of check things out after work. And they had just put in some new comics. And I was kind of digging through, and I found a book. And I was like, wait, am I saying what I'm saying? And so it was in the case. The case is like, if you've ever been to Half Price Books, they have comics that you dig through. And then they have like a protective case for the valuable comics. And not to say that they're valuable, but they're generally older comics. And you can find older comics in there priced, anywhere from like $1 to like $100, right? And I saw a book in there, and I kept digging, and found a few more. So I just asked them to open the case so I can get in there. And generally, I don't buy those books because they tend to be a little higher priced. But the books we found in there, the 3 books we found in there, were absolute treasures for me. May not be for everybody, but for me, it's like anytime you can get these kinds of books is like that's the goal out on an Unyang hunt. You know me, it's all about the Unyang. Like if you can get the books that you really treasure on that out in the wild, and your destinies meet. There's no better feeling or sensation in the hobby than when that happens, especially when you get it for like a really amazing, almost criminal price. So I guess we'll start with this book here. So these are 3 Neal Adams books we picked up. Okay, Neal Adams in the prime of the Bronze Age. It is his early Bronze Age work. Okay, and man, were we just ecstatic. So this is first book we picked up. We got this for $2. I'm not joking you, $2. I put this grade at around a 6.5, possibly even a 7 with a good press. I mean, it's got issues, but no creases. This one is actually really clean compared to the other 2. This one doesn't have any major creases. It's got a few creases here, and the spine is really clean. Just only a few spine ticks, just really vivid in terms of the color. But yeah, thanks, Namanyang, I knew you'd like it. Batman with Robin, one of the first times they used they changed the logo to include Robin. And Batman 231, Neal Adams cover there. The interior on this was another artist, I think Irv. I'm drawing a blank on his name, but yeah, he did the interiors, but the covers Neal, and you can see. I just never. For me, I'm still a little confused by what the significance of having eyes on the tips of your fingers would do, and why this would play some kind of advantage doing this as opposed to just turning around. But Neal, beautiful Neal Adams artwork there, with the Batman reflected in the guy's fingers. That's just a classic cover. Neal Adams, goodness, right there. $2. $2 for this, and it gets better. It gets better. All right, so the next Neal Adams book we picked up was Batman 219, also covered by Neal Adams, and it's bugging me, so I'm going to let you know who also did the interiors on this one. Hang on. So Irv Novick did the interiors on this. Frank Robbins was the writer. Right. But a Neal Adams book. That's $2 for this one as well. This one does have a little bit of a tear here. It has a tear right there. It's got creases all over it. There's another, these aren't tears, but it's like fading on the edge there. But other than that, I mean, it presents really well. It's got a couple of date stamps and stuff on the cover. But look at how beautiful that cover is. And you got the Capitol building right there. They're in DC. He's getting pushed out of a plane. You see all this great, motion work by the artist there, by Neal. Man, Ruby, was I just amazingly ecstatic to pick this up. $2. So picked up 2 Neal Adams. So as you know, I have a very small Neal Adams collection, but I haven't had any Neal Adams Batman. And I've been meaning to pick up Neal Adams Batman, but they're just kind of like getting out of reach, like especially at shows. You're not going to be able to pick stuff up like this for $2, trust me. So it's just kind of getting out of reach. And I thought I'd never own a Neal Adams Batman book, to be honest, but boom, we picked them up. And we picked up another absolutely gem. Now this one I may actually send to Danny to press because it's in need of you can probably see through the case how wavy it is. Okay, and there's water damage, and not major water damage, but it is kind of visible. There's just sort of this like brown staining, water damage staining that's kind of around the book. I'll let you get a closer look there. You can see it right there, that staining there. Not very noticeable until you look up close, but it's there. But again, it got wet at some point. It dried out, and it just added this waviness in the book. So it definitely needs a press. But the other issue with this book is it's a detached cover. It's a clean detachment, though. It's not one of those it's not like tears or anything. It's a clean detachment. It also has detached interior pages. But I'm going to upload a video where I clean these 3 books. Okay. I cleaned these. So these are cleaned already. But I'm going to upload a video where I go through the process of cleaning them. And this is this one here is complete. I counted all the pages. It's a complete book. It's just covers detached. And some of the interior pages are also detached. They're cleanly detached, though. Nothing's torn. And again, it's just, it's a complete book, just detached. So it has the cover and some pages detached, but for the most part, complete. And again, the water damage and the staining, the waviness, these are all things that can be improved with a clean and a press. And I think overall, though, if you discount all that stuff I just mentioned and just look at the grade of the cover, like it's a yellow book, and it's just, again, with a press, this would present so well. I mean, there's no creasing. There's no like major spine ticks. The corners are still really pretty much, sharp, and just a beautiful Neal Adams cover. This is my first, not only Neal Adams cover, yes, this is Neal Adams too. It's the complete Neal Adams interior. So it's a full Neal Adams book. Generally you have Neal Adams cover. And I have one where he does a few, he does a story in it, Neal Adams art, but not the cover. This is my first book where it's cover and the entire interior part. And it's a Denny O'Neil story written by Denny O'Neil. Now, Green Lantern 75, I think. What is this one? This is 78. Sorry. Green Lantern 76 is that famous cover of Green Lantern and Green Arrow, the first time they both appear on the trade dress. It's the first time they appear as that green cover. I mean, you just can't mistake that Neal Adams classic, right? That one is just super expensive, but that's the first Neal Adams, Denny O'Neil run on this. This Green Lantern Green Arrow is actually only an 11 issue run, and then they go back to Green Lantern. So there's about 11 issues where you have this dual Green Lantern Green Arrow. And Neal pretty much does all the Denny O'Neil and Neal Adams do that run. They do it. So it's a pretty, there's so many keys in this run. And for me to be able to get this for $5, I paid $5 for this. Now, you know, again, it has issues. Again, it's detached, covers detached. I'll put up that video so you can see as I go through it. That's going to be a fun video actually to watch, because I clean the cover and I just count the pages, but it's detached. I actually didn't know it was detached. I bought it, and as I was flipping through the books, I noticed, oh, detached cover. Okay, interesting. But didn't deter my enthusiasm for the book. You almost kind of expect it with these older books. You know, I'm just happy to have them. Like this book, this is like a really low, it has tears, low grade copy. Couldn't care less. This one, again, with all the detached cover, the damage and everything, I would imagine this wouldn't be anything higher than 3.5, even if you pressed out that cleanly, possibly a 4. But the detached cover and the water damage are two very severe knocks to the grade. So again, this is something that would be below mid grade. It's a low grade copy, but again, it's about the presentation. I know if it sat in a slab and you pressed all those wrinkles out, it would look high grade in the slab. It just would present beautifully. So yeah. All right. Well, that was sort of the big part of the haul. Big part of the haul. Those 3 Neal Adams books. Those. I mean, going back, this is the book of the haul. Okay, this is the book of the haul for sure. But that doesn't minimize this three books I got from Destiny City Comics. So first of all, shout out to Ethan over at Destiny City Comics. He, if I lived closer to Tacoma, Destiny City Comics would be my LCS. It's just an hour away. And actually, I was kind of intending to go to the shop to buy these in person because he was holding these books for me. But with gas, what it is these days, and with the time it would take to drive down there, you know, an hour there, hour back, and whatever potential other issues that could arise from a trip down there, and just finding the time on the weekend to get away from the family and have 2 hours or 3 hours to myself to do all that. I said, you know what, I'm going to pay the $5 shipping and save myself. He's actually saving myself money by taking that route. So that's what we did. We just asked him to ship it. He had been holding the 3 books for me there at the shop, but once I made the decision to ship, it got to me, because again, Tacoma's just an hour away. Once he mailed it, it took a day to ship. It took a day to get here. So kudos to the U.S. Postal Service. I love USPS. Okay, so we're still trying to get this open. It did a great job with the packaging, almost too good. Just a lot of tape here. If we have to cut through, then we'll be ready to go. All right, we're almost done here. Get this last piece of tape here, and we should be good to go. So, a little background on how I ran into these books. Ethan is posting stuff every day on Instagram, and I just love his shop. I love, uh, I just love the vibe of his shop. It's a small, you know, local shop here, and he's just a great owner. I talked to him on one of my trips down there. He held a book down there for me. He has great pricing. He's very transparent about, or I shouldn't say transparent, but he's very fair about grading and pricing stuff based off his view of the grade. And it's a fair estimate of the grade, in my opinion. So, yeah, it's definitely somebody you can kind of trust to price things fairly. And I'm still having issues with this book. Man, shouldn't take this long. My apologies. But anyway, he puts stuff on Instagram, and he's always, so there's stuff, it's stuff that he's just getting into the store and putting up on the shelves. He's kind of putting up stuff every day, and he'll put the pricing in there in the post, and take a really nice picture of it so you kind of can zoom in and kind of get a sense of the grade. And again, he prices things as they're graded. So if you see something like, like a $50 book for $10, well, there's a reason. It's probably in priced as reflective of the grade. And so we're always on there. I found a book that I liked, and I had great price, as you'll see. We're going to get to it. And I said, can you hold it for me? And so he did. And then, because we didn't want to just get one book, if we have to pay for shipping and all that, we might as well get more books. I just was on the lookout for additional things we could add, and eventually those things manifested themselves. So we were able to get 3 books, and I'm going to reveal what those 3 books are now. Let me just get the sequence here so okay. Okay, so we're going to start with the first book. I already own a copy of this book, and I love the cover on that book. But I've always, what bugged me is like the grade of the book. The grade is very low. I would say it's about like a 3.035 range on the copy I own. But Ethan was selling his for $3, and it looked like a pretty, this is definitely mid to, I'd say between a 5 and a 6 grade copy. And looking at it now, I'd put it at a solid 5. It's a really tough cover because it's a black cover. It's Shazam number 3. And I just love this cover because it gives off the Black Adam vibes, first of all, right? It gives off Black Adam vibes. It's a 3rd issue in this early Bronze Age Shazam run by C.C. Beck, cover by C.C. Beck. It's the first cover of Captain Marvel Jr. and Mary Marvel since the Golden Age. So they don't appear on books throughout the Silver Age, and it's the first cover since the Golden Age on this beautiful Bronze Age cover. And my copy has a big subscription crease down the center. It's got creases here and there. Spine is sort of shot. So it's a very low grade copy. This one again is, I would say, I'd put this at a solid 5.55 copy. Looks really great. So very happy with this pickup for $3. I picked up that other one, my other copy, for $3 back in the day. And yeah, it has that golden age vibe. Thanks, Daniel. I just love it. Just beautiful CC Beck, CC Beck art. Beautiful cover. Okay, so that's the first book we picked up. And so that was $3. This next one, it was $5, and you're just not going to believe it. You're not going to believe it. Because I'm looking at it now, and this is a really good, unless there's an issue in the interior of the book with the press, this is just going to look amazing. Now, as you know, I had a very high grade copy of this already, and I submitted it to CGC. It's there now, getting graded. So this is just another pickup of this. My second copy. This is not as good a grade, but this is $5. I picked this up for $5. And for $5, this is still, this is definitely in the 6 to 7 range. You've got just a light creasing right there. You've got some spine ticks, very faint spine ticks there. But for the most part, boom, absolutely just vivid, classic. This is Neal's probably best Superman cover. 233 is probably was most well known, but in terms of his best Superman cover, I gotta give my vote goes to this copy. This is my second copy, so again, when I saw this for $5, I was like, no way. No, I mean, there's a lot of things I see for great prices, and I'm really impressed. I'm like, wow, they're selling that for, like, I just saw an ASM 300. I think it was a graded copy, 8.0. They were selling it for like $700, $600 or $700. I'm just like, wow, slabbed 8.0 ASM for $700. That's pretty good. But I see that and I say, wow, but I don't jump on it because I don't have $700. But when I see something like this for $5, I'm all over it. I'm like, sign me up. So Action Comics 419, our second copy, another pretty decent graded copy that we've added. Ecstatic. So this haul has been very bronze heavy. Thanks, Danny. Yeah, just excited about that. So it's been bronze heavy, but we're going to end on a modern book. And a little Ethan had posted the entire Crisis on Infinite series 1 through 12. He had uploaded the entire set. Now they weren't like high grade copies. Obviously, some of the issues, maybe some of the key issues had some problems with them. But 1 through 12, the entire set for like $24, which is $2 a copy, right? And I was just like, get out of town. $24 for 1 through 12 Infinite Crisis. So I was like, let me get that one. And I already had this reserved, so I was willing to swap this one out for that set. But unfortunately, someone had already claimed it, so I didn't get a chance to get that. But I'm still happy I got this book, because this is, if you watch my videos, this is the book I'd been targeting, that I had on my list, want list, my wish list, and we finally got it. We paid pretty much what it's kind of like, its market, I guess, what it's selling for. This price is, I see it on eBay and whatnot, but again, with with the bundling of these other books, I just felt like, okay, yeah, we have the budget to do it. So I went ahead and got it. And it's Peter Parker, Spectacular Spider-Man, number 2, the Jim Lee Psylocke trading card variant. Yeah. Just admire it. There's not much more I need to say. For anybody who, all of you who follow me here in the chat, you know why I love this book. I finally have it. Get that amazing Psylocke cover. Now there is a Virgin variant of this, so it's a higher ratio variant, and so it's a rare book. I would definitely be interested in picking that up because, to be honest, Spectacular Spider-Man and this character just there's nothing related. Like what, like I don't need that. I don't need the Spider-Man there. I just need that image right there. But I mean, it's a great book nonetheless. All right, Danny, thanks for joining. Have a great rest of your week. Yeah, and looking forward to those more pressing videos, please. Got to get into that. But yeah, so this is the final book of the haul, and this would have been the book of the haul for sure had we not picked up that Neal Adams book. But let's just go back. These Neal Adams, I'll just collectively say these Neal Adams books are the books of the haul. So yeah, boom. These Neal Adams books. Let me just show them, do one at a time here. We've got this classic one. Thanks, Stellan. Yeah. Got this one. Got that one. I love that cover right there. And of course, this classic Batman. I'm just, again, happy to add these Neal Adams books to my collection. And yeah, that was it. So it was a pretty big haul with some big Bronze Age books and a lot of quantity as well. I think there is quality in this haul, but there's also 30 books is a big haul. And again, we picked all this up in really during this month, but really over the last 3 weeks. So yeah, just it was fun. I know I've been kind of waiting in anticipation and being very anxious to share all of this with you. So glad we could do it. And thanks for joining. So again, I'm going to post up the videos where I clean the Neal Adams books and go through some of the interiors of that. So please check that out when you can, and we'll see you in the next one. Thanks. All right, guys.